All right. So we were just congratulating Becky for joining us. I mean, like officially joining us. Becky just signed up today. Yay, Becky. Got in right under the wire for half price kit rebate. We're excited for you. So we're recording this training tonight. This is Tools of the Trade. Today is January 31st, and we are talking about organization. So I just want to introduce myself. I'm Michelle Weinstein, Advanced Director with Pampered Chef. Been in business for 19 years, and I'm pretty organized by nature, but not everybody is. So hopefully I will give you some hints and tips to kind of keep yourself on track, whether you're new or whether you've been doing this for a while. So I'm also going to give you some timely tips on how to stay organized, because you can be a great consultant in front of people, but behind the scenes, if you don't have any kind of systems in place, maybe you'll miss a party, maybe you'll miss training, maybe you'll miss something that you really wanted to attend or take advantage of. So I'm going to get you started with that. So first, we start with your calendar. Now, how many of you use a calendar like this or any kind of a paper calendar? So Sherry does. Um,
I
hey,
use a Google one.
how are you? I use a Google one as well. Yep. Some people use, the calendar on their phone. The type of calendar you use does not really matter as long as you're using it. When you schedule it, when you schedule it into this appointment, you're putting it in your calendar so you won't miss that dentist or doctor's appointment. Same thing with your business. You definitely want to be scheduling the things that are important to you. Um, so it's extremely important to know when your shows are so you don't miss going to somebody's house. It's extremely important to know what your training schedule is like. I mean, I'm looking at all of you right now, and every single one of you that are here are on the Weinstein organization. So you know that we do some really great training from Karen Betty down to me, down to you, down to this, and we post everything. So whether you're in our organization or whether you're in someone else's organization, there is a lot of training that's available to you. And if you want to have a successful and balanced business, you definitely don't want to miss any of those trainings that are important to you. I would not be here for 19 years if I hadn't taken advantage of the training that was offered to me. Um, so I'm going to first show you guys how I organize my shows. I do use this calendar. So when I'm at a show or when someone online books a party with me, I immediately put it into my paper calendar. And this is how I've organized my calendar since my kids were little. When my kids were little, my schedule was all about them. They were in plays, they played soccer, they had things at school. I promised my kids that I wouldn't be missing anything. And when their school schedule came home or their sports schedule came home, I put the kids' things in my calendar first when I was looking at my month. And when I was doing that with the kids, I would highlight it in blue, so I would know that I would absolutely not schedule a show on those nights because that was a commitment to my kids. I think it's really important when you have little kids in this business that they know that even though you are, have your own business, that your family comes first. And that's what this business is all about. If your husband comes home and says, there's something at work that I'd like for us to attend, or if your family says, oh, I'm having a birthday party on a certain day, make that a priority. Because you know what? There's 30 or 31 days out of every single month. You can schedule a party when someone's not having a birthday or a soccer game. And that's the beauty of this business. So when my kids were little, I would blue out the dates. Notice there's nothing blue on my calendar now because I don't attend anything of my kids anymore. But if you have little kids and you want to make sure you know how that focus is. When I first look at a month, I color code everything. Green means, oh, I have a show that night, because what does green mean? Money. I'm making money that night. So I highlight in green my shows. And I taught my kids when they were little, when they looked at my calendar, if they wanted to know anything, blue means family or unavailable. Green means I have a show that night. I didn't do it at the start of January of 2018 because I had a lot of shows, but I would put my open dates in pink so that when I open up my calendar at a show, I can look at it and go, oh, pink? Okay, so I'm available on the 12th or I'm available on the 15th. Which date works best for you? Okay, so I can tell at a glance by the color codes what my month looks like. This is on my paper calendar. If you guys use your phone, you can color code Google, or you can color code your phone on Apple, or your iPhone or whatever. My husband and I share a Google Calendar. I finally got him figuring this part out so that he can at a glance know when and where my shows are. And then if he's scheduling something, or he wants to schedule something for us together or whatever, he can look at the shared Google Calendar online and know when I'm available and when I'm not. And I can do the same thing. So if you are sharing your life with someone, get them involved in your schedule, whether it's your kids or your husband. So that's a quick, easy way to focus on your calendar, and you can manage it any way you like. The other things that are important is not how you color code your calendar, but you need to know what the important things are business related in your calendar. So if you're brand new, you want to know when your first 30 or 90 days are. So if you're brand new, you want to put, oh, here's my 30-day end date. Write that in your calendar. Here's my 90-day end date. Write that in your calendar, because if you're going for any kind of incentive, you don't want to miss it because you didn't look at your calendar. Again, whether you use a paper calendar or your phone, make sure you know when your 30 and 90-day end date is if you are going for an incentive. Then at the first of every month, take a look at the whole entire month and write down when your monthly sales meetings are. If you attend your local team sales meetings, you have a schedule of when those are. You do not want to miss your monthly sales meeting. After being in business for 19 years, I probably have missed 3 or 4 meetings, and that's probably because I was sick. So the success of your business depends on making sure you're attending your monthly sales meetings. So write down when your monthly sales meetings are, once a month. Then make a note prior to every sales meeting. Go back 5 days and make a note on your calendar to reach out to people to invite to join you at the meeting. And this is something that you're going to do every single month. So your meeting is on the 12th. You go back 5 days, put a note on your calendar, invite people to team meeting. Because you want to be inviting people who want to know what you do. You want to be inviting people who might need some extra income. 5 days before every sales meeting, make the note on your calendar, invite 5 people to join me at the meeting. If your director offers Zoom trainings like this one, make a note of those in your calendar. Your director is going to be posting those on your director team page. Know when they are and write them down so you don't schedule a show on those nights. The trainings are what is going to make you a successful business. Does your team have a monthly closer look? I know our team does. Once a month, we have a virtual closer look. You want to be noting that on your calendar. And again, 5 days ahead of that event, be inviting people to join us on the Zoom call for the closer look. Make a notation on your calendar to post twice per month on your Facebook page about the monthly outlet special sales. Seriously, this is like, you can sit at your computer, post about the outlet sales twice a month. And I don't know about you, but when someone offers me a sale, I am on that website looking at the sale prices. So if you're posting twice a month in your Facebook page or your personal Facebook page, people are going to be looking. So make a note in your calendar. Advertise my outlet today, and you will remember to do it. Only if you look at your calendar. That's why I like this calendar too, because it pops up. My Google Calendar pops up and says, you know, post about the outlet or whatever, because I can set that into my calendar. Make a note to post twice per month about the monthly host or recruiting specials. If you have it in front of people once or twice a month, they're going to be looking for it. They're going to be paying attention. If you don't put it in your calendar, you won't be doing it. I can almost guarantee you that. We talked about sharing a Google Calendar or whatever Apple's version of that is with your husband or spouse or whoever you share a calendar with. So he knows what I have planned and I know what he has planned. So that's a little bit about calendar control. No matter how you manage your calendar, make sure that it's managed, and make sure, I love the pop-ups that come up on my computer daily that says 1 p.m. post about the outlet, or 1 p.m. you know, post on the team page about the sales meeting. This pop-up calendar is like an alarm clock for most people, but you got to put it in there to do that. Okay, so that's a little about calendar control. Next is a little about office organization. How many of you have a really well-organized office? Nobody's raising their hand but me. Remember, I'm a Virgo. I am inherently an organized person. Oh, look at the kitty going across the calendar, out of the camera. That's so cute. I like to be organized. I feel better if I'm organized. I can't work in disorganization. When I was in the corporate world, everybody always made fun of me because my desk was always neat. Well, that's the way I work best. You may not be neat. You may not have to be neat. Everybody's version of being organized could be different. But if you have a system, no matter what your system is, it means that you're going to be able to put your hands on something at a moment's notice. And one good way to do that is with notebooks. Make them as pretty as you can. I like pretty. I like pretty. I like designs. This is my new consultant binder, and this is my host binder. So I have several that I work with all the time. As you guys know, that I'm a trainer and I'm training your people as well as training my people. This is how I keep organized. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about this, but they're all paged, they're all tabbed. So when you guys sign somebody, if you're not a director yet, your director is orchestrating your new consultants training. Your director has a system like this to kind of keep track of who she's training and where she's going with the training. So we all have a sort of a system like this. You thought we all did that off the top of our head. None of us do it off the top of our head, no matter how good we are. Oh, look at that kitty that Jimmy has. All right, so this is my recruiting and new consultant binder. So I have it up here in this. You guys can't see this, but this is the top of my desk where I have little dividers, and that's where my binders go. This is my host binder. I rarely talk to a host without having this thing open. And this is where I keep all of my host information sheets. My host information sheets might look a little bit different than yours because I'm old school and I started 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. So my host information sheets look a little bit different than yours, but guess what? The ones the home office gives you are the ones that you definitely want to work with. Those are going to keep you on track. If you're brand new to the business, you say, oh, I've got 4 shows in February, and they're my sister-in-law, my best friend, my mother-in-law, and my coworker at school. So yeah, I can keep track of them. Well, when your business starts to pick up and you have more shows than that, there's absolutely no way you can keep track of all of those hostesses without having a sheet for every single host. You're talking about when you contact them, you're talking about what you're making at their party, you're talking about directions here. Did you give them a host packet? That's all on the host information sheet. Raise your hand if you have something similar to that. You guys are all in my team. I like to see hands raised. Okay, even if it's just one finger. As long as you have some kind of a system to keep track of your hosts, you know you're always going to be able to show up to their show. In my host binder, I also have the host benefits. You guys think I'm really special because I can tell you at a glance how much you get for free products at your party when you have 700 in sales. I have pretty much memorized it, but guess what? I have it in front of me when I'm talking to a host. When I'm host coaching, I have the host benefits right in front of me in Page Protectors. I have in here the host and guest specials. So when I'm talking to my February hosts, I'm reminding them about the February host special. Okay. If you're brand new, you may not remember the host special off the top of your head. It's good to have that there. This is where I keep track of all my Facebook parties. I keep notes on that. And also in my host notebook, I have these little door prize slips. If you're brand new, when you go to a party, you're sending out or handing out these guest survey slips and having people fill them out with what they want from information from you. Mine look different than the ones that they get from the home office. But say I have a customer who says, my house is under renovations and it will probably be done in 2 months. Can you call me in 2 months because I'd like to have a party? Well, then these are all coded by months. So at a glance, I can tell, oh, she wants me to call her in March. I put that in the pocket that says March. So when I flip to that pocket, I can see that Susie Jones wants me to call her in March because her house is being renovated. Does that make sense to you guys? Otherwise, you're going to have all of these slips all over your desk, and the cat's going to walk across them and drag them onto the floor, and Susie Jones is going to go in the litter box with the cat. Okay, so have some kind of a system. You can make up any kind of system you want. Does not have to be the same system I have, as long as you have one. But those are the ones I swear by that have kept me in business for 19 years. Okay, it's that time of year when we are thinking about, is it tax season? Well, yes it is. I guess it is. You guys are all going to get a 1099 from Pampered Chef, but do you know how easy it is to keep track of your expenses with Pampered Chef or with any kind of home-based business or any kind of business that you own? I love this thing. This is a little pocket divider, very springy, very pretty. This is my monthly expenses. And in this folder, I have little tabs, January through December. Anytime I purchase anything for my business, whether it's groceries to practice a new recipe, whether it's going to Staples to buy, additional paper for my printer or ink for my printer, anytime I have a receipt for something, I just open it up and put it in the appropriate month. So once a month, I take all of those receipts out. Apparently, I only purchased one thing in January of this year. Oh, it was a Wedding Expo receipt. I bought a booth at a Wedding Expo, so I kept the receipt. So once a month, I go in and take out all the receipts for that month, and then I enter it into this handy dandy little expense program that Pampered Chef gives us. Do you guys all know about this? Joanne, Sherry? I'm going to do a quick little screen share so you guys know. Okay, when you own your own business, there are a ton of tax deductions, such as mileage to and from a hostess's house. I keep track of that in a notebook in my car. If you're practicing a recipe for the first time, you can actually keep the receipt from the grocery store. And because you're practicing the recipe, that's a tax deduction. Your cell phone, your ink for your printer, I deduct my internet, I deduct my portion of my huge cell phone bill. I deduct my portion of it because this is the only way my hostesses can talk to me is my cell phone. So there are a ton of tax deductions, but in order to keep organized with those all, let me see if I can do a screen share. When you go to Consultant's Corner, there is a spot on there to keep track of your expenses. So can you guys all see this? Just nod if you can. Yes. So you go up to Business Center right here, that tab, and you go down to My Income and Expense. This is what I do once a month with all those receipts that are in that folder I showed you. And all you do, actually there's some of them on there already. All of you do is you click Add an Expense. You put the date. Say for instance, I'm going to keep track of this receipt that I paid for the Wedding Expo. Okay, because that is a tax deduction. I had a booth at a Wedding Expo. So all you do is you take this receipt out and you just type it in. So I paid January 8th, 01/08, 2018. You can create your own categories on here. These are all the categories I normally use. There are some that are issued by Pampered Chef. You can create any category you want. This particular one is going to be called promotional because I was at an event that I had to pay for in order to have a booth. So promotional is my category. Description, I'm going to be putting Wedding Expo. Okay. Type of entry, flat, rate-based, or mileage. I always put flat. And here, I'm going to put how much I paid for that. It's kind of expensive. And the amount was $167.34. Okay, and I'm going to click Save. So if you do this once a month with all your expenses, at the end of the year, you can actually print out a whole entire year. So you're going to go January 1st, 18th to 12/31/2018. You can print out a whole entire year of expenses. Isn't that cool? If you have a tax person, you give it to your tax person with your 1099. If you have a spouse that does the taxes for you, my husband goes, "Where's your expenses?" And I go, "Wait a minute, I'm printing out a report." And then I can print that out for him. So he can give it to our tax guy. That is the coolest thing. It really takes the pressure out of keeping track of your expenses. So there's more information that you can learn on the Pampered Chef website that has to do with that. Talk to your tax preparer about different things that you can deduct as a tax deduction for the year for owning your own business. As far as that goes, I mean, seriously, keeping track of your meetings, keeping track of your Zoom meetings, keeping track of your hostesses when you become a director or if you're a trainer, keeping track of your recruits and your new consultants is the absolute best way. I told you guys I would give you a virtual tour of my office, right? It's not really that impressive, but hopefully you can see this. This is one thing I absolutely love. This is my sorter. Okay, you know all that paperwork that we have, like host packets and things that we put in host packets? I just kind of store them in there. So I'm putting together host packets. I'm just getting all that stuff right from there. When I need paper for my printer, it's in there. It's all in there, which is kind of cool. This is the folder I have at the top that I kind of keep all of my notebooks in. All of my little folders for travel and all of that kind of stuff. My calendars and stuff you saw, my printers over there. Look, there's my hand. And on the other side of my office, I cannot deduct my office as a tax deduction because there's my husband's desk. Okay. This office is not exclusive to me and my business, so I cannot deduct like the square footage that you hear some people do, but I have enough deductions, so that's pretty cool. The other thing that I would tell you to do as far as organization goes, sorry guys, that's a portable camera, is putting host packets together in bulk. I love to put host packets together in bulk. How many of you go to a show and you go, you're packing your paperwork bag and you go, oh, I need some host packets. And you feverishly throw a bunch together and hope you get everything in there. When you're watching TV at night, put some host packets together, okay? I get these little manila things. I know you can buy these from Pampered Chef. The little host packets that have this on there. Do you guys buy these? No? Sherry, it to each his own. I mean, I love these. If I was a host, I would absolutely love these because they're so comprehensive. But I think they're a little expensive. I would rather buy these in bulk. These are little mead holders that you can get on Amazon or Staples or whatever for hardly anything. And this is a blank one. You know, when I am on hold with the home office or I'm on hold with, you know, somebody I've had to call or whatever, I always have these things available, these things already cut up and ready to go. So that this to me is busy work when I'm on hold. I put these blank folders together. You used to be able to get these stickers. You might have to make them yourself. And then when I'm watching TV, I fill these with my catalogs, with my I print these out online and I stick them in there. I think the ink is cheaper than buying the whole thing, and this is cheaper. And then my host has some place to keep all of her information. So I put this in there, I put my catalogs in there, I put my host special in there, and I usually fill a bunch of these folders at once, just kind of generically. And then every month I put together like 10 or 12 for the particular month I'm working on because that's how many shows I want to do per month. So the trick to being organized is being organized, seriously. If you put stuff in your calendar, you won't forget to do it. You're going to have a balanced business. You're not going to be running around at the last minute putting host packets together. This is busy, mindless work that you can be doing when you're not on the phone with potential hosts or new recruits. Okay, 9:05. supposed to talk for 20 minutes and then ask you guys if you have any questions. No, Jen? Joanne?
So what do you put into your host packets?
My host packets, I put okay, so this is a full host packet, and I take 3 to each show. So you want to you can print out these coupons. These are the Kit Credit coupons.
Where is that? I tried finding it today.
You know what? Seriously, Sherry, all you have to do is go on to Consultants Corner and in the search button, put Kit Credit coupon. They print out 3 to a page. And
I thought so.
Yeah, if you're brand new, what we're talking about here is I put these in my host packets because our hostesses can actually use Kit Credit to apply toward the cost of their kit. So when you have a show, you can use some of those benefits. It's called Kit Credit. You can use some of those benefits to apply to the cost of your kit. I put in a Life Tastes Great brochure from the home office. This is on my post page. I put in a little flyer that I can send you if you want that tells a little bit about starting your own Pampered Chef business. Then I put a host benefits flyer, which I print out from the home office. I put the current month's host special, which is in here somewhere. So this is a February host packet. The February host special is in there somewhere. I put 1 or 2 February order forms because if they have more, they can photocopy them. And I put 2 catalogs. That's it.
So you only give them 1 catalog?
2.
2.
Yep. Because most people look at the online catalog.
I have done what somebody else suggested too, is put a sticker on the top catalog saying, this is yours to mark it up with your wish list.
A host copy or something like that. Yep, absolutely. But I find that I used to give away 3 or 4 of them. But especially if you're brand new, you don't want to be giving away, you want to be making money, not spending it. So you don't want to be spending a lot of money on catalogs. Anybody else have any questions? Oh. Sounds like you guys have a good system going. Okay, get in touch with your director. If you're on this call and you're not, and I'm not your director, because they can kind of guide you with more information about, your host coaching, when to do it, how to do it. There's a whole training series on that. But this is just an overview of kind of how to keep yourself organized so that you can go out and do what you do best, which is sharing our products, sharing our business, and being income producing without driving yourself crazy. All right? And you guys are all good? All right. Well, thank you all for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
All right. Have a great rest of your night.
You too.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.